is that there's actually no such thing as a bad emotion. Not a one. Every single emotion that we have is a tiny little smoke alarm, letting us know where we need to heal, where we need to take action, when we're on the right track. Joy lets us know that we are on the right track. Peace lets us know that we should keep doing what we're doing because we're feeling good and we're aligned. Anger often sparks change. Sadness is a release of what we can't control anymore. Anxiety can mean that we are in a situation that's actually not aligned with us. And so many of us fear the more uncomfortable emotions. They're uncomfortable. It sucks. And negative emotions often channel into negative energy because a lot of people in this world right now are so bottled up that the anger is turning into hatred and resentment and bitterness, which feels awful energetically. The sadness is turning into depression, which feels terrible when we are near our friends going through it. The general fear or maybe uncertainty or maybe other emotions that are indicating misalignment are piling up into anxiety, and we're feeling it. But none of these emotions are bad. The only emotion that doesn't actually have a useful message is shame. Side note. Shame is something that we put on ourselves or other people put on us or we put on other people to make us act right. But shame actually doesn't indicate your connection to the all that is. Again, like I said, whatever created us, whatever put us here is unconditional love. And unconditional love doesn't exhibit shame or doesn't use shame. So with that being said, let's get comfortable. Let's get comfortable with your own emotions first, because your emotions are the key to your discernment. Much of this particular lesson I will attribute to my own mentor, Trina Harmon, who first taught me this lesson. Because one of the things I did as an empath for years was avoid other people's negative emotions at all costs. And I think I was unconsciously doing it even when I didn't know I was an empath. How many of you were doing this? Like, honestly, were you always the fixer? Were you always the one that if there was any little bit of tension at the dinner table, you would make a joke, or you would compliment somebody, or you would change the subject, or you would immediately rush to make sure that everything was okay? And again, that could go back to your initiation and your training in your empathic skills. But what about if you just sat with the discomfort? Because when somebody is experiencing their own discomfort, and again, shedding it onto you, sometimes they actually need to experience their own emotion before you rush in and smooth it over so that you don't have to sit with the discomfort. So this is going to be a challenging lesson. This is going to be a very challenging one. Before I even teach you how to clear your own energy, it's going to be important for you to know what your own energy feels like, what your own emotions really truly feel like. So, now, the first thing that you have to remember is that there's actually no such thing as a bad emotion. I challenge you every day for a month as you're going through this program. And again, these are all practices and these are all tools and techniques that you can layer on top of each other, so don't worry about clashing. Every day for a month, set a timer for 5 minutes to start. Then work up to 10, then work up to 15. And what you're gonna do is sit still, close your eyes. If you like, you can put your hand on your heart, you can put your hand on your stomach, you can put your hands flat, doesn't really matter, but I always like to put my hand on my heart just to really kind of remind myself physically, yes, I'm connecting to emotion. You're gonna sit. And out loud, it can be a whisper, or it can be a spoken out loud voice, it doesn't matter, depends on who's in the room with you. Sit still. And just acknowledge each emotion as it comes up. For example, you can sit there and start by saying, I feel edgy. feel squirmy. I feel anxious. And then you might sit with anxiety for a little bit. And you're going to notice that as you sit with the anxiety without judging it, just letting it be there, just acknowledging it and letting it be there, don't try to fix or change it, sooner or later, the anxiety will shift. Maybe it takes the whole 5 minutes. Maybe it shifts in the next session. Or it might shift after 20 seconds. And anything in between. So you might say, okay, I feel anxiety. Okay. I feel sadness. Okay, interesting. And just let that sadness be there. I feel grief. Let the grief sit there. Feel what grief feels like. Again, we're not trying to change anything. We are just watching the emotions shift and pass through our body. You don't have to end on a high note. Sometimes you will. And eventually you kind of will start ending. As you process through your emotions, you might find yourself ending on a high note more than ever. Okay, around like 5-10 minutes. Or if I want to go longer, if you've got the extra time to sit until you do pass to a peaceful place. So, okay, I've gone through anxiety, I've gone through grief. Ooh, I've gone through self-doubt. Okay, I'm experiencing confusion. Okay, I'm experiencing self-loathing. Okay, I'm experiencing regret. Okay. And you might climb up. Okay, I'm experiencing forgiveness. I'm experiencing peace. I'm feeling, okay, and again, you can say I'm experiencing, but you also, I would highly recommend saying I feel. I'm feeling peace. Okay. I'm feeling happiness. I'm feeling joy. Let all these emotions pass through. Again, set a timer for 5 minutes. And in a few days, start working yourself up gradually in time and just practice sitting there, letting your emotions be there. Observe your emotions, be curious about them, actually feel what they feel like. This is going to tune you into your own discernment so that in the next lesson, when we talk about clearing your energy and discerning whether it's yours or someone else's, you're gonna know what's yours. Got it? Great. Happy practicing. I'll see you in the next lesson.